my dear learners, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to analyze top headlines from 22nd of March to 27th of March 2021. So the first headline is about Kumbh Mela Haridwar, and it is a major pilgrimage and festival in Hinduism. It is celebrated in a cycle of approximately 12 years at 4 river bank pilgrimage sites: Allahabad, Haridwar, Nashik and Ujjain. So the festival is marked by a ritual to dip in the waters, but it is also a celebration of community commerce with numerous fairs, education, religious discourses by saints. It is such a huge festival that about approximately 50 and 30 million people attended the Allahabad Ardh Kumbh Mela in 2019 and Maha Kumbh Mela in 2013, traditionally credited to the 8th century Hindu philosopher and saint Adi Shankaracharya as a part of his efforts to start major Hindu gatherings for philosophical discussions and debates. Now you must be wondering why this was reported in headlines. It's because Health Ministry has reported nearly 10 to 20 pilgrims and 10 to 20 locals at Kumbh Mela ongoing in Haridwar, Uttarakhand, COVID positive. Next headline, Matter of Trust. The Citizens Commission on Elections, which examines critical aspects of conducting elections, released the second part of its report. So the report is named An Inquiry into India's Election System, and the report evaluates integrity and inclusiveness of electoral rolls, increasing criminalization, use of financial power to create an economic oligarchy, compliance with the model of code of conduct, the role of media, particularly social media, and the overall electoral process. Next headline, Myanmar border shut amid strains over refugee crisis. So, Mizoram's Chief Minister, Zoramthanga, held a virtual meeting with Foreign Minister of Myanmar amid the ongoing military crackdown following the February coup. India has sealed all entry points along the border with the Southeast Asian neighbor and is closely monitoring them to prevent any Myanmar national from entering the territory. So the Chief Minister of Mizoram had earlier written a letter to the Prime Minister urging intervention so that political refugees from Myanmar are given asylum and food and shelter in the country. In the letter, he said how people residing on both the sides have close linkages. India cannot turn a blind eye to the humanitarian crisis unfolding in front of us in our own backyard. He further stated that the Myanmar area bordering with Mizoram is inhabited by Chin community and they share a close contact. Following the February 1 coup, when the Myanmar military overthrew the democratically elected government, around 300 Myanmarese nationals, including many policemen, have crossed into India and sought refuge. India and Myanmar have an agreement called Free Movement Regime, which allows locals on both sides to go up to 16 kilometers across other side and stay up to 14 days. But because of the request, there has been a conflict, a tussle between the center and the states and also the security agencies. If we let them in, how safe it is. Okay? Next headline, Betwa Link. According to Jal Shakti Ministry, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh will sign an agreement to implement the Betwa Link project. So ये project आखिर है क्या? It is the first project of National Perspective Plan for interlinking of rivers through video conferencing or virtual platform. This agreement will herald the beginning of interstate cooperation to implement the vision of late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji to carry water from areas that have surplus water to drought-prone and water-deficit areas. This project, water from Ken River will be transferred to Betwa River. The next headline, International Day of Forest. The United Nations observes 21st March as the International Day of Forest, commemorating the green cover around the world and reiterating its importance. The theme for this year has been Forest Restoration, a Path to Recovery and Well-being. Forest cover in India. Since independence, a fifth of India's land has consistently been under forest cover, despite the population increasing more than 3 times, which is a good thing. As per the biennial State of Forest Report 2019, India's forest cover has increased by 0.56% since 2017. The next headline, CSIR CSIO develop UV ducts air sampling techniques. This is going to prevent the spread of coronavirus at public places in India, says the scientist at CSIO Chandigarh. So it's basically killing the virus using the UV ducts, and it can be easily, be a part of your air conditioners with just minor modifications in it. And the UV duct system will be installed in the existing AC ducts, and that is how it will disinfect the air. Now, the sampler works by sucking air at calibrated flow rates and entrapping particles, virus or bacteria inside the filter. The sampler is fitted with a gelatin tube where the virus is trapped. अब जिनको CSIO के बारे में नहीं पता है, let's understand it. Central Scientific Instruments Organization है, which is at Chandigarh, India-based national laboratory है, dedicated to research, design and development of scientific and industrial instruments. It is one of the constituent laboratories of CSIR, established in October 1959. Earlier, it was located in New Delhi, and in 1962, it was relocated to Chandigarh. The next headline. Lok Sabha passes Marine Aids to Navigation Bill. The bill aims to provide for development, maintenance and management of aids to navigation in India. The bill proposes to use the term marine aids to navigation instead of existing lighthouse to statutorily recognize and enable further use of modern forms of aids to navigation. Now, Director General of Aids to Navigation, so the DG will advise the central government on matters related to aids to navigation among others, management of general aids to navigation and vessel services. The central government will be responsible for the development, maintenance and management of all general aids to navigation and vessel traffic services. Its powers with regard to management of aids to navigation includes establishing, maintaining, adding, altering or removing any aid to navigation, authorizing to inspect any such aid which may affect the safety of navigation, and acquiring any land as may be necessary. Further, training and certification, no travel without valid license. Levy of marine aids to navigation dues. So marine aids to navigation dues will be levied and collected for every ship arriving at or departing from any port in India. The central government may wholly or partially exempt certain vessels from these dues. Another feature is heritage lighthouse. The central government may designate any aid to navigation under its control as a heritage lighthouse. Such lighthouses will be developed for educational, cultural and tourism purposes. The next headline. Lok Sabha nod for bill to increase FDI in insurance from 49% to 74%. This move was aimed at solving some of the long-term capital availability issues in the insurance sector, which was a capital-intensive industry. Also, the high solvency fund ratio in the sector has led to liquidity stress in the sector, and the bill will address that stress. Government can help public sector firms, but private companies will have to find their ways of raising money. Solvency ratios are primarily used to measure a company's ability to meet its long-term obligations. So I hope if you're confused with high solvency fund ratio meaning, yeah, it is. Further, the banking and insurance industry has been designated as strategic sectors, and that the 74% cap is just a limit post on FDI. Also, the bill has safeguards that some of the profit has to be invested within the country. The next headline, labor wrongs. So one evening in September 2019, a delivery partner of a popular food app saw a message on his phone. Every time he entered his partner login ID, user not authorized. Also, unilaterally suspending IDs was a common tool which platforms like Zomato, Swiggy, Ola and Uber deploy to discipline and punish their partners. Now, app-based businesses like Zomato, Swiggy, Ola and Uber identify themselves as marketplaces or technology platforms while labeling workers as partners or self-employed persons. अब ये जो framing है that enables them to evade legislative frameworks which ensure labor safeguards and state-regulated rates. For instance, they will not fix the rate as set by the government, the taxi fares for instance, and जो गाड़ी यूज की जाती है by Ola, Uber and the motorbikes used by Zomato, Swiggy, delivery personals, जो maintenance cost है वो इन लोगों पे आ जाता है. Also, there is excessive control on these personals. Far from being mere facilitators of work, these app-based businesses control all aspects of partners' work and impose numerous conditions which directly affect earning capacity. जब Zomato या Swiggy से जब आप order करते हो तो वो बोलते होंगे delivery personals के please rating दीजिएगा ma'am or sir, right? Because ये जो acceptance rate है, cancellation rating है या customer rating है, ये सारी ratings उनके earning को affect करती है, positively or negatively. ILO's report on digital platform, it has recently spelled out how the long working hours that platform workers from developing countries are actually enduring, together with complete lack of grievance and dispute resolution mechanisms for the workers. Further, the Code on Social Security passed in India last year creates the possibility for platform and gig workers to be eligible for certain social security benefits, which is a welcome move. Government must evolve regulatory frameworks ताकि ये जो वर्कर्स है जिन पे कॉस्ट का पूरा भार जो गाड़ी मेंटेन जिससे वो डिलीवरी करते हैं अपना काम करते हैं वो भी उन्हीं को पूरा करना पड़ता है और रेटिंग्स की वजह से उनकी अर्निंग इतनी ज़्यादा अफेक्ट होती है और बहुत सारे स्ट्रिक्ट कंट्रोल्स हैं उनके ऊपर. दे शुड बी ऑल्सो मेड एलिजिबल फॉर सर्टन सोशल सिक्योरिटी बेनिफिट्स for their better lives. We should respect them more than ever because pandemic phase में उनका importance हमें समझ में आया है. The next important headline, recalibrating India-Taiwan ties. India and Taiwan are celebrating 25 years of their partnership. It has been a low-key affair because India has never acknowledged the improving ties with Taiwan in public. Now, though the mutual efforts between Delhi and Taipei have enabled a range of bilateral agreements covering agriculture, investment, customs cooperation, civil aviation, industrial cooperation, and other areas, the time has come to recalibrate India-Taiwan relations. Let's look at the cultivating political framework. Now, creating a political framework is a prerequisite in doing this, in recalibrating this relation. Both the partners have increasingly deepened mutual respect underpinned by openness with democracy and diversity. The shared faith in freedom, human rights, justice, and rule of law continues to embody their partnership. To make the relationship more meaningful, both sides can create a group of empowered persons or a task force to chart out a roadmap in a given time frame. On the health front, India has been in forefront of the fight against COVID-19. Taiwan's handling of the pandemic and its support to many other countries underlines the need to deepen healthcare cooperation. India and Taiwan already collaborate in the areas of traditional medicine. Now it's a perfect time to expand collaboration in the field of healthcare. On cultural front, India and Taiwan need to deepen people-to-people connection. Cultural exchange is the cornerstone of any civilizational exchange. It is not only helping one to appreciate others' culture, but also helps in overcoming prejudices and cultural misunderstandings. And how can we forget tourism? It is a key tool in this exchange. Taiwanese tourists in India are a very small number, so we need to work on that, both the countries. The Buddhist pilgrimage too needs better connectivity and visibility. With Taiwan Tourism Bureau partnering with Mumbai Metro, Taiwan is trying to raise awareness about the country and increase inflow of Indian tourists in Taiwan. Now, on the economic front, India's huge market provides Taiwan with investment opportunities. Taiwan's reputation as the world leader in semiconductor and electronics complements India's leadership in information technology-enabled services. Further, the signing of bilateral trade agreement in 2018 was an important milestone. There are around 200 Taiwanese companies in the field of electronics, construction, petrochemicals, machine, IT operating in India. The next headline, Indus Water Panel holds meeting after a gap of more than 2.5 years. This meeting coincided with the National Day of Pakistan. It's been viewed as a part of broader process of normalization of bilateral ties between the two countries. About Permanent Indus Commission, it is a bilateral commission consisting of officials from India and Pakistan created to implement and manage the goals and objectives and outlines of the Indus Water Treaty. Next headline, Chandrayaan 3 to be launched in 2022. India's third lunar mission, Chandrayaan 3, is at an advanced stage of realization and the mission is to be launched in 2022. The propulsion module has been realized and the final testing is in progress. The lander structure is released and the lander for Chandrayaan 3 will have only 4 throttle-able engines unlike Vikram on Chandrayaan 2. Additionally, Chandrayaan 3 lander will also be equipped with laser Doppler velocimeter. A worrying headline, double mutant virus variant of COVID found in India. Nowhere else in the world but only in India. Genome sequencing of a section of virus samples by a consortium of 10 laboratories across the country called the Indian SARS-CoV-2 Consortium on Genomics revealed the presence of 2 mutations, E484Q and L452R. These 2 mutations have been individually studied in many countries, but दोनों जब combine हो जाते हैं, right? तो क्या impact पड़ता है? Yet the studies have not been conducted. A government statement said 736 samples from across the country had so far been found to have UK lineage. 34 samples were found to have South African lineage and 1 had a Brazilian lineage. Why the studies have not been conducted yet? There are fund issues. First of all, fund का बहुत ज़्यादा problem है. And secondly, states have not been proactively sending their samples to the laboratories for the sequencing. The next headline. China-Russia propose new security dialogue platform. The proposed establishment of a regional security dialogue platform is to converge a new consensus on resolving the security concerns of the countries in the region. China and Russia are already part of Shanghai Cooperation Organization security grouping, which also includes India. अब इस headline से समझना क्या है? See, China and Russia have rejected US calls for a rules-based order, a call endorsed by Quad Summit, and instead said that all the countries should follow the purposes and principles of the Charter of UN. If you've seen the last weekly analysis, you will understand कि India और Russia के relations में क्या changes आ रहे हैं और India और US का relation कैसे strong बनते जा रहा है. So if you've not watched it, please watch it. I'm going to put the link in the description box for you. The next headline, Bihar Police Bill. It aims to develop Bihar military police into a well-trained and fully equipped armed police force with multi-domain expertise to cater to the development needs and the larger interests of the state. At present, Bihar military police is entrusted with security of Mahabodhi Temple in Gaya, the Darbhanga Airport, and other industrial and commercial establishments. This force will maintain public order, combat extremism, ensure better protection and security of specified establishment in such a manner as may be notified, and perform each other duties as may be notified. Now, there are reasons for the protest against this bill because the bill allows special armed forces officers to carry out searches and arrest without a warrant. Now, this is on par with CISF, which can arrest people including on basis of suspicion without any order from the magistrate. Section 15. According to Section 15, a court cannot take cognizance if a special armed police officer is involved in a serious case, barring certain exceptions. Now let's look at what government has to say in its defense. The legislation has provisions to allow for search and arrest without warrant by a special armed police official engaged in protection of such notified premises. They further say that the powers of search and arrest without warrant are already available to the district police in all states as per provisions of Section 41, 165, etc. of CRPC 1973. So I've addressed all the top headlines of the week. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. All my dear Nishchay warriors, don't forget, you can do it. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch the video till the end. Watch all the lessons till the end. I'll see you in the next one.